Good afternoon, and thank you for having us today. It is truly remarkable to hear, we shared a couple of words before we came up, but to truly hear somebody else's input and how they felt about their story, because much of what you're going to hear from me is similar to what she had said. Ever since the day we lost our daughter, we question to how we got here. We attempt to understand and come into new terms and a new reality moving forward. It's been over 2 years, and you ask any of us, it's been 2 years too many. How could our Supergirl be gone? My name is Brian Wary, and on June 2nd of 2015, my daughter ARIA Isabella Wary came into this world. A short 18 months later, she was gone. We were as excited as any parents could be to welcome our second baby girl into this world. It was a normal birth. It started off as a normal day. By that afternoon, we've got the worst news of our lives. We were told that our daughter had a complex congenital heart defect that would require immediate intervention. As a result, we had to transfer to Akron Children's Maine, where she would spend the next 2 months of her life. And we were given timelines of surgeries. The first surgery to be done at 6 days old, the second at 5 months, and the last supposed to be between 4 and 5 years old. Those 2 months were long. There were many nights we had no idea if we'd bring home our baby girl. Fortunate for us, 2 months exactly to the day after being admitted to Akron Children's Maine, we brought ARIA home. Still on many meds, feeds, and under the strict protocol and protection not to let her get sick. Before we knew it, it was 5 months later. It was time for her second surgery, and with the second surgery, we knew that this would make the largest impact in her life. But we also knew it was going to be the longest surgery, 10 hours, and there was a chance we would not bring her home because it was the most difficult. The first night was touch and go. We were dealing with oxygen levels around 40%. We battled swelling, instability in her condition, and we had a care team that basically positioned themselves next to her bed all night. The next day, the doctor came to us and said, it is all up to her. It's in her hands, which is definitely a scary thing from a parent standpoint. Day after day, it was like the movie Groundhog Day. Wake up, go there for a morning report, to hear the forecast for the day, and then spend the day by our daughter's side. That first week was very much touch and go with ARIA. The second week, she made a turn for the better. They put her on a trial medication, and next thing you know, we were bringing her home. 2 weeks from the day that she was admitted, we brought her home. Still on many meds, but the good was ahead. After that surgery, this is where the equipment came off, the meds removed, and soon this is where our ARIA became our Supergirl. We lived. ARIA lived. The only signs of the past were the scars on her chest, the battle wounds of what had happened. She shocked our cardiologist, her care team, and continued to shock us every single day. She developed into this little playful, mischievous individual with nighttime shenanigans just like any other child. She loved her mommy so much. She loved her sister. We were doing events like this with her right here next to us, which was some of the proudest moments of our life. As she developed, you could not tell her and another child apart. They looked and acted exactly the same. We liked to watch our daughter get down to music like Taylor Swift, Shake It Off, and have time of her life. She did eyebrow tricks, binky tricks, and a bunch of fun little tricks that we'll never forget. She provided us with laughter, joy, and brought so much into our life. In the winter of 2016, ARIA developed flu-like symptoms. We brought her to the doctors, all had been fine. On December 6th, we knew ARIA felt under the weather. That afternoon, my wife Adrian had called and said that she looked slightly pale. The events that day we'll never fully understand. Things went from bad to worse rather quickly. Because of her condition, we had to transfer her at once planned back to Akron. We were at Akron in Mahoning Valley, but the plan changed to go to the Cleveland Clinic just because of what she needed done. The minutes turned into hours of not knowing what was going to happen to our daughter. As we arrived in Cleveland, we had the mindset that we were going to get to bring her home. They're going to put in a pacemaker. Everything was going to go well. And then the news came that things suddenly turned extremely grim. We walked into our room, and as we worked with the physicians and the care team, we could tell the direction it was going. They asked us to go next to her bed and soon by the head of the bed. And lastly, asked us to make the most difficult decision we've ever had, and that was to let our daughter go. After everything, immediately thinking, this is how it ended? This is how the journey ends? Are we really here? After all the surgeries, all the battles, all she'd overcome, this is it? Soon family, friends, and our community flooded us with calls and messages, shock and disbelief. In the hours after she passed, we made the hardest decisions we ever had the most difficult ride home we've ever been on. And then you do things as a parent you never hope or you never dream of doing, and that's planning a funeral for your daughter. You prepare the calling hours, the clothes, the pictures, the videos, all the things you never wanted to do. Every moment along the way asking what went wrong. On December 6th, not only was a daughter lost, but also a sister, a granddaughter, a goddaughter, a friend, a heart warrior, and our Supergirl. Everyone lost that day. On that cold December 12th, we buried her. Although mourning devastated, my wife and I still made the decision that we had to move forward, and we talked about that night, everything had occurred. We still had Mila to continue to move on forward, and there was so much more. ARIA was not just a story. We're all here today with our own stories, own outcomes, own ways of trying to move forward and understand. Trust us, no one has it solved. There's some days, and I agree with the last speaker, there's some days we wake up and we feel wonderful. And there's some days where you just don't want to get out of bed. And there's no specific rhyme or reason to that. So you are not alone. How do you cope with a loss when you fully don't understand that loss? Much as she said, you go through the stages: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. Anger. Did we not prepare? Did we not do the right thing? Could this have been prevented? Did we not ask the right questions? Did we not recommend the appropriate procedures? Did we not notice the signs and symptoms? Is this our fault? And over years, we've come to the terms that as parents, some things just happen. Bargaining. Take us. Take anyone, not ARIA. She earned her time. We were just given ours. Depression. How do we move forward? How do we live day-to-day life? There is no timeline. Acceptance. And with acceptance, I agree in the fact that you never truly accept it, but you find ways to keep them alive. We continue to share her memory and tell her story and combat the struggle. We're all here today in a similar battle, trying to cope, trying to understand, trying to get time back. As parents, as I said, some days are worse than others. People only see us as happy-go-lucky Brian and Adrian, but they don't feel the lump in our throats when we hear her songs, or the heaviness behind our eyes when we see kids her age playing outside, the kids she should have played along with. Those were supposed to be her friends. They don't feel the pain of the loss, nor should they. The hardest part in facing loss is seeing everyone else move along, where there's a lot of times we feel like time has just stood still. Of course, we sit here as any parents would, and we look back at the old videos and the memories and the photos and all those things and try to bring her back alive, because that's the best thing we can do. We don't have the perfect equation, but we talk about our Supergirl every day. We have an amazing support system in community, family, friends. She battled a congenital heart defect. We drive to increase awareness of those defects so that parents in similar shoes understand the battle. We participate in different events. We are the storytellers of ARIA. We keep her memory alive. We fight for us. We fight for her, and we fight for other families facing loss. We move forward. We're still the parents of two beautiful daughters. One here, Mila, with us today, and one in heaven, ARIA. Leaving you today, I just want to remind you, there is no specific equation to grieving. Grieve how it feels right for you. Fight for something, whether that's you, your other children, or for the ones you lost. Understand that there are certain things you will just simply never understand. Continue to speak of them, their memories. Establish a support system. Regain that sense of purpose in your life. And just remember, your loved one will always be part of your story. So continue to tell it, wherever you are. Everyone has a story. And in our situation, our loved ones are part of ours, so continue to tell those stories. Thank you.